Common sense approach. Eat the fish and spit out the bones. Now, I ran across this video of these black American soldiers who were in the service at the time of the Vietnam War. And they spoke on how when they arrived in Vietnam that the Vietnamese people were calling them the N-word. And they was trying to figure out, who taught them this. They know nothing of the American culture. They don't even speak the language. So who taught them this? And more importantly, who taught them to direct that word towards the black American soldiers? They also spoke on how when they would go to some of their establishments, such as a restaurant or a bar, they would deny them service, saying that they troublemakers, that they start trouble. Now, I want to remind you that this is during the 50s and the 60s. This is the first time that the average Vietnamese person has ever met a black American person in person. So again, who told them this? Who would be so diabolical and evil that they will go ahead of these soldiers before they arrive in Vietnam and spread rumors about them? Who would do that? It's the same group of individuals who told that first generation of Hispanics, Asians, Arabics, Europeans, Africans, and Caribbeans not to deal with blacks. Okay? It's that same group of individuals. A lot of blacks, Americans, may like to know or may be wondering, like, where does this instant dislikeness for black Americans come from when it comes to immigrants and those who migrate into the country? There you go. Look no further. If these group of individuals are willing to run ahead of their teammates and spread negativity about them in foreign lands, what do you think they're doing at home? Now, we always said that in the community, that we thought that before these people come into the country, that the government tell them don't deal with blacks. And so it always starts with that first generation that comes in, because they have this system where they go in and invade a country, bomb them, destroy everything. And then they find that little group of refugees, little rebels. And then they clean them up and they bring them over to America. But before they let them through that gate, they tell them, you can make money off black Americans, but don't deal with them. It's the difference. Okay, they break it down. They have an interpreter there. They have someone there of their background. Okay? And so they always start with that first generation that they let in. And that first generation passes it down. Let me give you a common sense fact. Like they say, all things will be revealed. Right now, if you listen to any discussions that's taking place where you have people here that people came as immigrants to America. The younger ones, they'll tell you right now, oh yeah, my mom and my grandparents or my grandparents, they told me don't deal with blacks. Or, my parents told me that their grandparents told them don't deal with blacks. They always lead back to that first generation. It never be that generation of today that's adults. Okay? Or that's in adulthood. It never be them. They always directing you back to snitching on their grandparents in a heartbeat. My grandparents told us that. That's because your government told their grandparents that. It's a sad thing, but us as black Americans, I understand that we want to let everybody else know, hey, where we stand. And I ain't knocking that. Check them. But don't forget who has been the one who has always sabotaged us. This is treason. These brothers are over there for the freedom of all. I don't see no other group of people over there. Even today in the service, black Americans are the second biggest group of people in the service in the United States. This is treason. And again, if you think that they'd be willing to do that away, what you think they willing to do at home? So if you was wondering where this instant dislikement for black Americans come from, look no further than the U.S. government. This common sense approach. I'm